Regressor of the fallen family. Chapter 49. A week later, Hammer stood up from his sickbed. "I'll do my best to make up for the lost time," he said. His complexion, markedly improved from before his injury, Hammer set about the construction schedule at a pace that surprised even Logan. Everything naturally progressed smoothly, according to plan, much faster than Logan had anticipated. "What, already?" "Yes, we've already opened the tunnel you mentioned and connected the waterway to the Luther River. The sluice is nearly full." In just 3 months?" The construction expected to take 6 months was completed in only 3. Overjoyed by the news, Logan rushed to see the sluice brimming with water himself and could not hide his admiration. Of course, the water level will not rise above that of the Luther River. It will only fill up to the depth we've dug the tunnel. Wow, it actually worked. What? A sincere exclamation of surprise escaped Logan's lips, shocking the dwarf who had heard him. "Lo, Lord, what did you just say?" The larger one. Didn't you say you've seen a bigger dam built by humans?" "That's right. And now it actually worked?" Logan had indeed seen it in the future, but was unable to prove it. "So what's the problem if it worked?" He simply responded with a bright smile. "Huh? You were bluffing. I almost died because of that. Hey, today you die, then I die. Let go. Let me go, mage. This ends to Gah." Ha ha. Even so, this was a valuable experience, wasn't it, Master Hammer? Using human strength to tunnel through a mountain and guide water through it. I thought it would have been more realistic to just shave off the mountain. Clayton, with a haggard look as pale as Hammer, held the struggling dwarf and smiled at Logan. Logan responded with a hearty laugh. "Ha ha ha! You've really outdone yourself, Sir Clayton." Ugh, all right, Hammer. Of course I know you've worked hard. Well done." Ugh, ugh. Yes, I know. You're the #1 contributor." Logan once again realized that the combination of a dwarf and an earth magician was the best team for large-scale construction work. Honestly, I thought it could fail, but it had ended up cutting the expected duration by more than half. This construction project was the only one since his regression that Logan had not been entirely sure would succeed. Now that it had been resolved so successfully, everything seemed to be on a positive track, lifting his spirits. Then Hammer, having narrowly escaped from the magician's firm grasp, asked with a grumpy face, "So, when do you plan to do it?" "If it's as expected, any time before winter should be fine. My disciples are helping, so the waterway work will be done in a few days." "Then why wait? Call all the hard-working workers together. They all need to see it, to see what they achieved." The number of workers involved in the construction was nearly 8,000. All of them were robust adult men, in other words, the resources that would support him in future wars, to instill confidence and patriotism in them. That was another goal Logan intended through this construction project. 3 days later, as the irrigation work was completed, the workers climbed up the ridge at Logan's command. "What's this noise? Water? You're saying there's water over there?" "I saw it. There's definitely water inside." "Then did we really dig the waterway?" "Still, it can't be enough water for all that vast land." Murmurs rose among the crowd. Thousands of people standing on a hillside overlooking a wasteland woven with a dense network of irrigation channels harbored skepticism. And even less pleased were the administrative officials of the territory called out unexpectedly. They were present to see the land's transformation and reflected in their administration, as Logan had willed. But the officials didn't respond positively. "This is quite something. Literally a monumental waste of effort." The bald head in charge of food supply, Rugal Hayes, clicked his tongue as he looked at the drawn water channels across the wasteland. "With these men, we could have repaired the southern wall instead, especially with the monster wave that might come this winter." The portly wall supervisor, Lupin, was already worried about the disaster that occurred irregularly every 5 to 10 years. Why go to such lengths? I don't know either. Administrators who were unaware of the details of the construction were equally pessimistic. However, unexpectedly, Dwayne, who had been the most opposed to the construction, looked down the mountain with hopeful eyes. This isn't just a one-time watering. It's directly connected to the Luther River. The irrigation channels meant continuous water supply, which could turn the vast wasteland into rich fields if the land was well managed. That was the potential promise he saw. An uncontrollable mix of rational skepticism and hopeful excitement made his heart race. As everyone watched the scene below with their own thoughts, Logan turned to his side with eyes full of anticipation. Sir Clayton, let's begin. We've worked hard to make it possible for the workers to adjust the sluice gates. Do we really have to do this? Ugh. Hammer, turned grumbler by the construction process, complained, but Clayton nodded in silence. Rumble, rumble. Simultaneously, a giant golem rose from below the fields. Whoa! What is that? Yikes! Scared me. Well, it's magic we've seen plenty of before. The frightened administrators nearly stumbled on their feet from surprise, but soon realized that, aside from themselves, no one else was startled, and they sheepishly closed their mouths. Open the gate! With Clayton's booming command, the golem stomped toward the sluice. Then the golem tried to lift the wall-like sluice. Grind, grind, grind. The vibration reached the ridge, tension visible in everyone's eyes. But then, why isn't it moving? What's going on? Despite several vibrations, there were no significant changes to the sluice. Doubtful eyes turned to the sweating magician. What are you doing? Are you playing around? Clayton, lips tightly sealed as if using ventriloquism, muttered quietly, causing the dwarf to wave his hands in confusion. No, I definitely told them to open it, but how could this? In truth, the golem's show of strength was just that, a show. In reality, about 100 workers had gathered to manually open the sluice with a winch due to its heavy weight. This unexpected hindrance was not part of Logan's plan. What's going on here? Logan, maintaining a calm expression despite the surrounding attention, used ventriloquism with menacing eyes. I'm sorry. Something seems to have gone wrong. Hammer bowed his head, drenched in sweat. Without descending to check, there was no immediate solution. At that moment, Logan, abandoning his dignity, grimaced and shouted, Sir Clayton, destroy it. Excuse me? If the sluice breaks, we can rebuild it. Just break it down. Logan could not let his carefully prepared plan fail at this point. At this moment, Logan's face was more than just a matter of pride. It would become the foundation of trust from his subjects and bureaucrats in the future. It was better to demolish the sluice than to ruin that. Of course, the key figure who would suffer the consequences, Hammer, turned pale. Yes, understood. Clayton's response was immediate. Though lifting the gigantic sluice was impossible, destroying it was not difficult. Bang! Boom! Crash! With consecutive strikes from the giant golem, the sluice began to crack. Crash! Soon enough, with a loud noise, the sluice crumbled. The sluice shattered, sending huge clumps of stone into the air, overwhelmed by the vast gush of water spilling toward the wasteland. Everyone gasped at the enormous stream that swept even the golem down the fields. The water, drenching the entrance to the wasteland and flowing along the irrigation canals, showed no signs of slowing down for some time. When at last the water began to subside slightly, a mighty cheer erupted from the people. Wow! Water! It's water! Truly water! Ha 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 ha! Thank God, thank you so much. We really did it. This vast land. Yes, we did it! We did it! Ha ha ha! The exhilarated voices filled the expanse that would soon be called the new McLaine Plains. Tar Logan, too, joined in cheering as he watched the water flow across the wasteland. Or rather, knowing the crises to come in the future, he was even happier. This will solve the food issue during the Civil War. Food prices would skyrocket the moment a civil war broke out. Therefore, stockpiling food in advance was critical, to such an extent that hoarding food might attract unwanted attention. The McLaine have hoarded a lot of food, haven't they? Then we'll hit them first. In the worst case, they could become a prime target before the Civil War even began. Thus, the development of a productive plain was the best outcome, resolving those worries in one strike. Of course, it'll be a problem if word gets out. 1 year was too short for rumors of this barren territory to spread throughout the kingdom. Besides, there's no hurry to cultivate the land. We can start farming next spring. Before that, Logan, content with a proud smile, was organizing his future plans when a tearful, broad-shouldered man suddenly embraced him. Ugh, Dwayne? Master, I was really wrong. I apologize. It's okay. Dwayne helped out later, right? Sniff? But if I had cooperated sooner, it's okay, really. How can such a big man cry so much? Although Dwayne made quite a scene, among those who hugged and cheered, a few shed tears as well. Then, as the wave of emotion slightly subsided, "Now's the time." Logan, rallying his strength, roared loudly, "I will permit anyone who wishes to cultivate the new McLaine Plains." The eyes of everyone present, especially the workers, poured upon him. "And for that cultivated land, I will give tenancy, and the tax will be only 30%. This I, Logan McLaine, publicly declare." His voice echoed across the vast wilderness, and the response was an overwhelming cheer. "Wow! Master! Thank you." So, having shouted this, now even the nobles can't oppose. Amidst the throng's gratitude and cheers, Logan smiled satisfactorily as he watched his pleased retainers. But there was one person, or rather one dwarf, who was in despair amidst the jubilation. The sluice. "How many days will it take to rebuild?" "Worry not, dwarf friend. I will help again. It'll be faster since we've done it before." No consolation from his human friend, who had become close over the past few months, could alleviate the dwarf's deep disappointment. However, there's no rush for the sluice. Rest for a week. Then we'll wrap up the mining work and take a long vacation, all right? Logan, slightly buoyed, mentioned a vacation, which instantly changed the morose Hammer's expression. "Really?" "Of course." Thank you, master." Only then did Hammer join the joyous celebration, his face flushed with elation. "After that, there's a mountain of work to do. Better smile while you can." The cruel master, who had coerced his workers into half a year of relentless labor and still received thanks, concealed his insidious intentions with a crooked smile.